You're welcome to the Naija Filmmaker, a podcast about Nigerian filmmakers, their films, and how we can build a diverse and functional industry. I'm your host, Selegot. On this episode, my guest is Kayode Kasum. He's a director and producer. He's most notably known for directing Sugar Rush, Oga Bolaji, Quam's Money, Dwindle, amongst others. We talk about how he got into the industry, directing across genres, and his plans in 2022. If you're a new listener, you're welcome, and I hope you enjoy. Hi Kayode, you're welcome to Naija Filmmaker.
Thank you for having me. This is actually a really dope idea.
Yeah, thank you. So can you introduce yourself?
My name is Kayode Kasum. I'm a filmmaker based in Lagos, Nigeria. I like to tell stories. I edit, direct, and this year I'm testing my hands at producing. 70% of my day is film, and the rest of it is everything else.
Yeah. Okay. So tell us your origin story. Like, how did you get started making films?
I started making films after film school. I decided to try my hands at editing. I could edit. It was one of the skills that I had, and I felt like editing was the closest way to get a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And that's how edited for a very long time. Then tried my hands at motion graphics. So I think I was good at that for a bit. I decided to try film, which is when I made my first feature film, Dog Napped, in 2017. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's how I got into film. Every single day is also, and every project has been an opportunity to get better. Opportunity to learn again, telling the story. So yeah, that's my origin story.
Okay. So you said you went to film school. What year was this?
I don't remember years, but went to PEFT in Lagos. Then I also had a year in Ghana, film school. That was it.
Okay. And how was that experience for you?
I always knew that that experience was just my foundation in film. I always knew that I always had to work and keep learning to get better, which is what I've been doing So yes, in terms of experience, it felt good to see different people so had to say some that I had in telling stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like that. Funny enough, most of all those people I met at the time are still the same people that are making films now. So it was an opportunity to meet different people and to make friends, meet different storytellers, and just learn from each other.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about your first feature film, Dog Napped. This was a live action, but it had the talking dog.
Yeah, I guess that that decision kind of explains itself.
Yeah.
When you see the type of work that I do, it was something I was excited about. And that's actually me. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Most times when I'm excited about something, I just can't wait to see it. So at the time, it just made sense. I didn't even think I thought about marketing or the audience. Then I just wanted to make a film. And that's how we made Dog Napped. Made it along with producer Tyrella. And I don't know if it flopped or it was a success, but I'll say what Dog Napped kind of did was it did inspire me to make more films. 30 minutes. Took 2 years of production. It was a comedy. It had Julius Agu on it. Yeah, I mean, we had fun making the film.
Yeah. Why did it spend 2 years in post-production?
Fun, no. It was really, really low budget films, and the animation was quite a lot. So I think we were rendering the animation of the dog's mouth in India.
Oh.
And we had to work, make dollars, and send. for them to send us footage back. That's mostly why it took a lot of time. And also distributors wasn't as easy to get a distributor to fall in love with it. And there was quite a to distributors. But after persuading and persuading, we found our way in.
And then your next film was Oga Bolaji.
Yes, next film was Oga Bolaji, which was kind of like maybe therapy for myself. I wanted to make a film. I felt like I gave up on film. Like I didn't want to do film again just because of the no response that I got from Dognut.
Yeah.
So it was more like me writing a letter to Lagos and a love letter to myself, saying, talking about not giving up despite everything that's happened in the country. Yeah, it was supposed to be my last film, but by some miracle, it just got picked up by different festivals.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what kind of opened doors for opportunities to work with filmmakers like Jade Shipper and Sugar Rush.
Yeah. I mean, thank God for Oga Bolaji. If not, we wouldn't have had all the blockbusters that you have been a part of.
Yeah, we thank God for that.
Okay, so for a director that has made a road movie that's solo to a blockbuster like Sugar Rush and like several films across various genres. For you, like what always kind of draws you to a story?
It's kind of like a feeling. I don't think it's something I can explain. It's all of a sudden I want the character to win, or if it's not that, it might be the style of filmmaking. The fact that this is really it's a story about high class Nigerians. That's Castle and Castle.
Yeah,
I haven't really had the opportunity to tackle something like that, and I'm a big fan of Suits. So when you get those opportunities as filmmakers now, you always want to get the slice of the cake, for lack of a better word or term.
Yeah.
You always want to try something like that. It excites you. It's the challenge that's exciting for me. So projects that I've jumped on, like Castle and Castle, doing that, it was something I had not done before, and I liked the way the directors in the first season shot it, and I always wanted to try myself. See how I would interpret something that was about the corporate world. So yes, I did that. So there's always these different things for different projects for me. Yeah, there's different things for different projects.
Okay.
That's what drives me to shoot. Sometimes it's the characters in the world, like this thing you call life, dealing with trauma, and I know it's something like I used to be the main character, the lead character, was dealing with trauma, and I knew it's something that a lot of Nigerians kind of go through, but it's like the unspoken, like an unspoken term, an unspoken word, mental health in this part of our society.
Yeah.
As at like 2 or 3 years ago. So it felt good to be able to make a film like that. And when it came out on Netflix, everybody on Twitter who had serious experiences similar to what I today had, they always had something to say. So it's always different feelings. Sometimes it's a picture type like Sole. I'm a fan of when you get an opportunity to say, I think I'm confident enough and I have the skill to pull a role. You get that excitement, that challenge. It's kind of why I pick stories, why I decide to work with people. Sometimes I do get scripts that I do not have any emotional attachment to.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do get work like that. But then there's something creative that I am now emotionally attached to in the project. One example is I would never have thought that in my life I would make an Afro-futuristic film.
Yeah.
This time you get, had a phone call with Lolo, which is the co-director on the project.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it. I read the script. It was a well-written script. I still wasn't sure if I wanted to do it. But then flying to Abuja to meet her and meet the team, which is where I met you.
Yeah.
And just see the groundwork and the passion that of the scale of what and the scale in which what she wanted to do. I knew what she needed at the time and she needed creatively, and I knew that I could bring that to the table. So just the loan self can sometimes can be like a creative attachment, emotion that can like if I'm not really too drawn to the world, if I wasn't really too drawn to the lead character, maybe I'll be drawn to the world that we're trying to create.
Yeah.
And slowly, just like every relationship, as you begin to work on a project, you begin to now fall in love with it. This is basically the dilemma of a director for hire.
With directors in the early part of their career, sometimes it's a case that you're trying to find your voice. You're not always confident about your ideas. You don't want to say certain things or do certain things in certain ways. For you, like what was the tipping point? When did you kind of start to own your creativity and like what you bring to a project? What was that tipping point for you?
I guess I'll answer it like this. I guess at first, when I first came in, when I first started making films, which is from Oga Bolaji, I was finding my voice. And then my voice was at the time, which was, I think still is, I like stories that have to do with underdogs rising to something, stepping, finding out what they actually need and not what they want. And it did seem like I was lucky enough to get Sugar Rush, which had that same theme, the story for underdogs. But it took me taking on independent projects for production companies. For me, I guess they say experience is the best teacher.
Yeah.
In working on all these several films, I began to notice a pattern, began to learn how the industry works. And I slowly began to understand and fully understand the power of a director, what the director can, the effect that the director can have for a film. I would say that I am not the filmmaker that I was 2 years ago or a year ago.
Yeah.
Because with experience and with film projects, you get to learn better and begin to understand more about the art form. So if you see when I began to get confidence, to be honest with you, no lies, I guess it's just this year that I fully understood. I think this is my voice and this is the decisions I want to make and these are the type of stories I want to tell.
Yeah.
I've been learning on the job, to be honest. And I do think that this year this year I'll make better films and my voice in my stories will be much stronger.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, looking forward to that. And it's interesting that, is this year, you have done a lot of films and I mean it just goes to say that, like every day is a new day, we all evolve and there's always something to I guess reevaluate and change direction.
I feel like at this point the internet should go the other way around. I should ask you a question.
Okay.
What do you like about Nigerian films?
What do I like about Nigerian films? For me, I would say first of all is the peculiar situations, the relatability with the characters. Being like Nigeria is a very special country. Certain things that happen here don't happen anywhere in the world, and like some of these situations you might not have gone through, but you know that it's quite possible, and just kind of like seeing life through that character's lens, is always interesting. Yeah,
I guess you're more connected to Nigerian stories because you are from Nigeria, and it's just and for me also it's how the little scenes, just the small scenes of a car driving through a dead town, a dead village to a red gate, rusty gate. Oh, so I say, Papa, I'm here. You get just that. You just put a smile on your face.
Yeah, Yeah, it's all those little details in the films that, yeah, they're always like
And man,
special.
yeah, I love Nigerian films. I love how they kind of address situations that the general mass can understand.
Mm.
It's an art form to make a Nigerian film. Maybe 30,000 people or 70 or 200,000 people come and sit down, connect to laugh and go or smile or enjoy and go home.
Yeah. What are three random facts about you that not many people know?
I love music. I think if you really watch my films, I like music. So
Yeah.
random facts, music, random facts. Yes, I learned most of the things I learned about film on YouTube. I think for every filmmaker, so that's not random, but that's what's random enough that I can
Yeah.
think of. Um, Third one is, what's the third random fact? Yeah, the third random fact is, uh, I guess like everyone else too, I have conversations with different versions of myself in my head. I guess I would like to think that everybody does that. That's not me alone.
Yeah.
Or if that's not random enough, I'm a glutton. I love eating. I hope that's random enough.
Yeah.
That's the
That's interesting. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about Sugar Rush. So Sugar Rush, I think it hit like 150 million in 2 weeks.
Oh, that's big numbers. I usually don't remember the numbers, but I do not even expect. I did actually even when I wasn't expecting the numbers to be that big.
Yeah.
Sugar Rush man surpassed everybody's imaginations and expectations.
Yeah.
It was a blessing to be able to work alongside Jado Shibero. The woman is amazing, and how she just has a vision and just finds a way to inspire everybody towards that vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sugar Rush was I like it was work. It was even a difficult time for me because I was I was doing Sugar Rush and we were shooting an Mnet series at the time. But in my head, I was like, Sugar Rush is it, man. Sugar Rush is it, Kayode. It has to. This is the one. I'm happy that the outcome did well. I guess I'll say that it's through that film that everybody knows me now. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And how was the filming experience on Sugar Rush?
It was I'm like a sponge. That's me. If you put me in an environment, I learn quick because for me every opportunity must not pass me by. That's what I was going to say, Sha. So I'm like a sponge. It was a good experience learning fast from Jade, even from the actors, just learning their techniques. And also it was really important for me to have a really calm atmosphere so that these three ladies could gel.
Yeah.
Like connect with each other. And that was done easily. Like the moment I think they were friends. A few things this rarely happens in film.
Yeah.
It's magic, when all the characters are connected. It rarely happens. So one thing I did learn from Sugar Rush is always try to have a calm on set. For me, in my head, it wasn't like, oh, this is a big film or this is the film card. In my head, it was just telling that story.
Yeah.
And I stuck to it. Yeah. And I think that experience also has taken me through my other films, just sticking to the idea and closing my ears from all the noise. I just try to do my best. It was a good story that Jadi and the writer, Bumi Ajakaye, I don't know, I didn't pronounce the name well, but yeah, such a great writer. She's also a director too.
Yeah.
It was a magical script. Everything just happened at the right time. And that's why we're here today. That's why I'm on your podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so you mentioned, creating this calm environment for, the actors to, get into character and connect with each other. Are some of those things that, always get the characters to, give exceptional performances?
I think an actor's past experiences, because in Nigeria, first time you meet an actor, sometimes if you are lucky at production, you get
Yeah.
if the production say really good production, if you are lucky, you get to meet the actor a week before, or sometimes 3 days before the shoot. Sometimes you meet them on set. Sometimes you have a phone call with them before you come to set.
Yeah.
Is into my films with 70 to 60% of what I think I want the character to be.
Yeah.
The remaining 40 or 30% I leave it for the actor to interpret. I think when I do that, I think I always have great characters in films. Best characters that I have shot in my career is the pastor from Sole I was played by Godi Pomosa.
Yeah.
Every hall that I watched Sole in the cinema, every time he says, every time he was saying his dialogue, he always had this call and response.
Yeah.
And he would say, like for example, in Jesus, and everybody in the hall would say name. Like it was that moment, and the way we created that mannerism for that character was just first time. Like I had not met Gold, we just met on set on the first day. And I just told him that everything this character broke down the character to him and told him everything this character said, the character believes in it.
Yeah.
And and I told him I had to take him back to a moment where he knows those type of pastors. He has met those type of pastors before.
Yeah.
And that was his own interpretation coming in with what I was saying. I told God, we are not trying to be fun. It's not a comedy. Like this guy really exists. And just in not trying to be funny and his own experience of the pastor he has met in his life before is what created that type of characters. I always try to go in with what I've learned. Answering your question is, that's me explaining it, is I always try to go into films giving a lot of space for the actors to interpret it their own way.
Yeah.
That's sometimes like an extra bit of magic that can help your film.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I can share. This is along with a lot of other things that I've learned. Working in Nigeria, I also learned just from making mistakes, learned from making good films. Yeah. I think most important one to add to that would be the story, man. It's not about how you shoot it.
Yeah.
It's not about camera angles or how clear your camera is.
Yeah.
It's just have a good story. Once you have a good story, everything else will be fine.
So you've directed a lot of like relatively big films, and you also mentioned that with every film you make, are figuring out things. And what would you say, like, of course, Sugar Rush is the blockbuster, the big, like, I guess your biggest movie at the box office. What would you say are the ingredients for a blockbuster?
Man, I don't think anybody can definitely answer that question. I don't know. I don't think anybody can answer that, because sometimes you have a film like Breaded Life now that did well this year.
Yeah.
By director Gordon Stephen, you get nobody like it was an unexpected hit. It was a success. So you really can't say what you think is what works over here.
Yeah.
You might think a comedy would do it and a comedy won't. Who knows? A horror might do it. I just think it's about the story. Just tell a honest story that people can connect to. And you don't know what will happen, man. And I think it's not even just what ingredients. There's a lot of factors that also affect this blockbuster hit.
Yeah.
First is getting a good date. You understand? And also have the backing of the cinemas behind you and the distributors.
Yeah.
If you are not if you don't have good handshakes with certain people, your film will never get certain numbers.
Yeah.
So whole marketing to how you market it, your marketing budget. There's a whole lot of factors that determine success at a blockbuster. But factors that determine if success for a good film is going to be a good story.
Yeah.
So really, you cannot list all the things that will make a film a blockbuster. In Nigeria,
Yeah.
At least with my experience here.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so what's that one film or TV show that you always love to rewatch?
I have bad rewatch. Once I watch a film, I've watched it. But something I think I might go back to watch again is Ted Lasso.
Okay.
I just recently found out Ted Lasso. It's a really good show. I think it's something I always go back to just see, just the attention to detail in terms of character delivery.
Yeah.
And something I always go back to watch. I like that show a lot. Film, The Grand Budapest Hotel is a good
The what?
rewatch. The Grand Budapest Hotel
Okay.
by person. That's a good rewatch just for inspiration for short angles and stuff.
Yeah.
I recently like this Arcane on Netflix. That's a really good show. I like that one. It's like an animation series.
Yeah.
Thriller drama. It's really dope.
I think I've seen it.
Sci-fi thriller. It's dope.
So, you've had a very busy career, from being a motion graphic designer to being an editor to also having some cinematography credits. What difference would you say your understanding of all these other disciplines kind of have had in your directing?
It's helped. I mean, it's really helped. It's helped me in solving problems.
Yeah.
For instance, one biggest thing I'll say is I wish like film of this. I want to say now, solo shot in one place. The only scenes that we had to move was the scenes in the bus. Where that thing was shot in one tennis court, and it's something that nobody has noticed. So just knowing about editing and knowing about camera angles and just understanding the camera too has helped for me getting out of sticky situations like that. The budget was we're trying to use a small amount of money to make a big money film, and that was those ideas and experiences really helped in that department.
Yeah. And like Solar is still in cinemas. You guys have been there for weeks.
Selected theaters.
Yeah.
That's what you say for films that distributors cut out.
Yeah.
Like it's out in theaters. Yeah.
You mentioned that filmmaking is 70% of your life. So what do you do when you're not directing blockbusters?
Everything every normal human being does. Spend time with family, watch TV, do stuff that makes them happy.
So what makes you happy? What are some of the things that make you happy?
Music. What I hate the fact that I want to say this. So. Music and watching.
And watching what?
Oh my God. Music and watching movies. Like, that's it. But don't judge me. I am working on having a whole life away from film. I like watching sports. I like watching basketball.
Yeah.
I can spend my whole day doing that. I'm a big fan of Giannis. And yeah, that's mostly it. I was going to ask you were working on a film. I knew that you directed something recently. Was it the ending of last year or this year?
Yeah, the ending of last year.
How did that go? How was it?
Yeah, it went well. We made, so like, in a way, we're kind of working against time. We had to make some last minute edits to the script. It was kind of a weird production because we didn't have a lot of night scenes. So, like, I think maybe just like sorry?
Yeah. And over here we have faster days and longer nights, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like I think out of like 80 scenes we had like 7 or 8 night scenes. So it was like we're wrapping at 7, 8, 9, it was quite weird for the crew. but it gave us enough time to rest. And yeah, like I think yeah, people would love the movie. It's a nice movie, hoping to get it out to cinemas by the middle of this year. Once the film is ready, we show it to the big boys, and then we get the feedback about when we can show it in cinemas. So yeah, looking forward to sharing that with everybody. I'm also before that, I'm going to be putting out my web series. I shot that last year. It's almost been a year, April. That is a story about also kind of a crime drama about somebody that went missing from NYC camp. So yeah, that should be fun.
I really can't wait to see them. I think we need to see more new voices in this space, and please don't give up on those films. Let's watch them all.
Yeah, definitely.
I saw some pictures on Instagram, and I'm expecting it, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Once we have dates for release, I'll be sure to publicize all that. Let's talk about your Afro-futuristic film, Tyrella. So what can you tell us about it?
So you watch films like The Last Duel, you watch films like The Last Samurai, you watch Black Panther, and like I said earlier in the podcast, I said sometimes you are, as a creative, for me, sometimes I am attached to certain projects just for the creative challenge.
Yeah.
I read Tyrella, and beautiful script. It hit a part of me, of the style of films that I like to make, which is romance.
Yeah.
I've done romance. Can't Believe, This Lady Called Life. Had a bit of it in Castle. Unbroken. And also, I think I'd done that, and I was pretty comfortable. Love's Yellow, yes. Man, and guy, how many opportunities do you get to actually make an African version or remake of Cinderella?
Not many.
Yes, not many. So it was a challenge, but yes, our audience now. Give them Cinderella now. If you don't do it right, they'll come for your ass. But it's okay. I mean, I've taken some of the ass opens before. I'm a big boy. So I didn't mind. It was a big challenge to take, and we did it gracefully. There were some challenges, lots of challenges, but with every film there are challenges.
Yeah.
I don't think it's flying to Abuja to work with the team in Abuja. It's not a decision I think I want to take back. It was a learning experience and a learning curve, and I enjoyed every moment of it.
So what was different about shooting in Abuja for you?
The pace.
Yeah.
Now Lagos boys and Lagos crew are used to making the impossible happen. Yeah, so the pace. I felt like that pace wasn't there. But to be honest, I should have embraced that more, looking back at it. Yes, because the extra time that we had to sit and wait for scenes to be set up, I think we had enough time to figure out the ways to tell the story better. Coming back, I guess, is something something I took from Abuja. Like every project, I learned something from the project. Coming back from Abuja, is the car that I used to rush and shoot had disappeared, and I was just sitting down, and I was telling people, I'm a 4 scenes a day guy now, guys. It's 3 scenes a day. Well, yeah, I did enjoy Abuja. I did enjoy. It was good to. There's always an experience where in Lagos, when you're on a set in Lagos, you're with a crew that you guys have obviously done 1 or 2 things together, because it's practically the same circle of crews that is shuffled from different productions.
Yeah.
But it was the first time to be in a space that I was working with a crew that I barely knew. So I had to get to know people and at the same time do the work. So that was just an extra fresh challenge. And but
Yeah.
it was exciting, enjoyable at the same time.
Nice. So is there a date for its release?
Uh Sometime in the middle of the year or towards the end of this year.
Okay. Yeah, definitely looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the response about of it too.
Yeah. Okay, so according to my last count, you have 2 co-directing credits. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
So for you, how do you approach co-directing jobs?
It's for first thing is always understanding. I try to always put myself in a position that I do not have the full authority over this project. That's
Yeah.
the first one. Always respect that your partner has a gift for this.
Yeah.
And as creatives, sometimes creatives are, it's like sports. I think creatives are highly competitive.
Yeah.
You get wanting whose ideas should be the dominant one or whose ideas should always be used. So I always try to not even go into that space like that. I just try to keep an eye open, and I try to keep an extra eye open for moments where I think I might be forcing my ideas, and
Yeah.
I just shut it down. Say okay, and always, and it's not about saying, or it's not about being civil. Actually, it's about just knowing this is not going to work, and the other person has a better idea about being able to recognize that. Also, your strengths. I try to look for my strengths in my partner. I know that my partner is very good at as a scary situation based on some of the experience in their work. If I know that my partner knows how to work with female characters in vulnerable situations, you get that just knowing each other's strengths and also working on each other's strengths.
Yeah.
It's what I try to do in co-direction.
So what would you say has been your happiest Nollywood moment so far?
Whoa, two of them. Um, I would say it's the night of Sole
Yeah.
was one of my, yes, one of the premiere, the night of the premiere of Sole was a very good Nollywood moment for me. And the night of the premiere of Kambili,
Okay.
it was the first time that I felt I had spoken with my voice. Both moments were moments that I felt like I had spoken with my voice and the crowd heard it clearly
Yeah.
and they appreciated it. Uh, but also because I'm a really shy person, so there were also moments in those nights that I did not feel shy, that I
Yeah.
was comfortable and confident that, oh, I am a filmmaker. Those
Yeah.
2 nights and those 2 films. Because for somebody, one experience I do have because I have had a lot of premieres is I can always read the room and I know when the film will work. Yeah. So those two were nights where I knew, yes, we had something that was special.
There are some things that we should try to improve upon. What do you think the industry should prioritize? That one thing.
First thing is this is just in case that people that are not in the industry are listening. And this is also for people that are in the industry. It's quite hard. You get look at the country that we are in right now. It's hard to bring out 50 million, 30 million, 70 million, 120 million, 150 million. These are budget of films. 200 million. Say you want to shoot a film. Like you believe in the film so much that you want to invest this money into it. But to be honest, let's tell the truth. You are doing this thing because you want to make what? More money. You're investing in it. So sometimes producers will pick certain genres of films that have worked in the past.
Yeah.
It's comedy. Um, I've been in certain rooms like that too, just for the aim of wanting to make money. So yes, at the end of the day, guys, it's a business, and sorry that you're tired of seeing the same type of stories. I'm not saying that I want to do that though. I'm trying to explain to you the rationale on how people think when they make those type of stories. It's because they're trying to make money. Uh, and this is a country where there's not enough money to make good films.
Yeah.
People are trying. They're still doing. Okay. So after being said that, yes, there are lots of, I know that Nollywood is growing, but I know that if you know Nigerians now, we never give up.
Yeah.
We are always fighting to be better. And that's what filmmakers are trying to do. They're working really hard, saving more money, finding investors to make good films for the Nigerian audience and the world. We can always get better because right now, I don't think our industry is even up to 50 years old, so we're still learning.
Yeah.
And this is the process. We learn by trying and loving what we do. So, really no comment on that. But all I can wish myself for my colleagues is the grace to make beautiful films for our Nigerian people and the world.
Yeah. Yeah, our stories need to get out there. And yeah, hopefully, the audience keeps supporting us, and for the times we've hurt them, hope they forgive us and still show up and give us their money. Like, what should we expect from you in 2022?
Yeah, this first time is going to, so I'm going to say it. So if anybody actually listens to this podcast, they'll hear it. In 2022, I'm shooting a musical.
Okay.
I'm shooting a musical drama.
Yeah.
And I go to set soon. So if anybody hears this, I know they got it from here.
Yeah.
I did not intend to tell anyone yet because it's quite risky. But I'm confident I can pull it off. And we have been working and we've been recording music with Nollywood stars.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for that chapter of my life.
All right. Also looking forward to it. How can people keep up with your work? What's your website, your social media?
My social media is my Instagram. It's Kayode Kasum. Yeah, I usually post stuff about my work there. And yeah, man, have a couple of nice stuff that's going to be happening this year. I will always talk about them then.
All right. Thanks, Kayode, for coming on the podcast.
Thank you, Mapo.
We have come to the end of this episode. Remember to rate and review the podcast. You can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Selego Film, and the podcast at the Naija Film Pod to share your feedback. You can now support the podcast by visiting the website to donate. See you on the next episode. Have a good one.